is apparent that students, teachers, and administrators have varying opinions in regards to how much free expression should be granted within a learning environment. Some believe that too liberal a system distracts from a focused classroom, while others argue that too many restrictions take away from individuality and inhibits creativity.
The way I feel about free expression in schools is that you have to find a happy medium. The student has to be able to feel that they still have their own individuality, but you also have to make sure that it doesn't infringe on everyone else's rights of individuality.
I believe it's very vital to be able to express yourself, to know who you are as an individual. And I mean, since school is a part of your life, why not do it in school? So.
I do feel like some of our rights are taken away. Like I heard that if your purse needs to be checked, they'll check it. It's like you don't have any rights when you come in here.
The lack of free expression that attempt to restrain has one of two effects. It either completely molds a person to always following authority and always following orders, or it works completely reverse.
Teachers and administrators claim that they have no objection with students disagreeing with them as long as the challenging is done in a respectful manner. However, students feel they cannot bring about an argument contradictory to a teacher's belief without being seen as a disturbance.
When I was in the classroom, I loved for people to come in and do what I asked them to do, and them all act a certain way. Made my job easier.
The older I get, the more I realize that a lot of those things are just set up to create control.
Students are being told, you can do whatever you want in this box of guidelines. So that means that the students learn from an early age that almost like they can't challenge the system.
I mean, I'm very nervous to talk around, give my exact opinion on things, just because these are the rules, this is how I talk, this is what you're supposed to say.
Many students were not in favor of the concept of censorship. Blocking students off from the more controversial topics in the world makes them feel as if they are not receiving a well-rounded education.
We're not here to expose you to everything in the world that there is out there.
Yeah, I think it's very important for teachers to teach their pupils what the world is like. Because if they're not preparing us for when we grow up, what's the point of teaching us anything?
A lot of times our parents would like for our kids to only get squeaky clean books. But that's not the real world. The real world is not squeaky clean. And if you don't talk about them, you're not prepared for them when you get out in the world.
Learning about the real world involves teaching material that may be considered objectionable, and several students find censoring this literature is unjust.
Things can be taught in different ways. You don't have to use that particular book to teach a message. Messages can be taught in a variety of ways. There's a way it can be seen as disrespectful or untasteful, then we don't need to go down that path.
It's hard to decide what is respectful and what's crossing the line and being disrespectful.
I feel certain censorships are needed, and then others are almost pointless. Like, I don't think books, literature should be censored at all. I think To Kill a Mockingbird has a few N-words in it, and some schools don't allow it to be read. And that's such a crime, in my opinion, because it's such a book you can learn from.
There's a thing in libraries called bibliotherapy, where, say, if you have trouble with anorexia, I might find a nice little novel that I could give you that, and you could learn about the problems with it or the avenues to go to work on it through a nice little novel. So there's some good reasons to have books that some people might think are objectionable, but they're a good teaching tool also. We're better to find the right answers than in a book.
In American culture, individuality and independence are valued character traits, and the only way to display these traits is through expression.
I think one of the most important things about education is finding out who you are.
Be yourself.